Hello, this is Tom Cloud with this bi-weekly precious metals market update. I want to go right to the main question, which is historically the number one factor that I've looked at through my career of doing this, and that is the dollar value. How is the U.S. dollar doing in the world market? And when it's not doing well and when it is doing well, what does that bring to you as the investor? So we're going to touch on the things right now. I'm only going to go back to January of 2019, 20 months ago, when gold was finished the year of December 31st, 2018 at $1,280. As I record this today on the 29th of September 2020, gold's at $1,880. It's gone up $600 in 20 months per ounce. Now, over that period of time, the dollar went down 11% and gold went up 67% in the last 20 months. Just sticking with the record we've seen over history repeat itself during the big runs in gold is for every 1% the dollar goes down, and this isn't right of science exactly 6%, but gold goes up 6%. For every 1%, the dollar goes down. So what we saw in August when gold hit 2,000 an ounce is the dollar broke below 90 and the Fed moved to protect it because they didn't want to see a crash of the U.S. Treasury market because our debt is so overwhelming that they drove the dollar up 4.5%. And gold went from 2,000 down to 1,880. It was even lower than that, but now 1,880. So it went down, gold did 1.5% or 6% total, while the dollar went down, went up 4.5%. So what was interesting is when the dollar was going down, gold was going up 6%. For every 1%, the dollar was going down. But when the dollar turned around and went up 4%, gold only went down 6%. So it shows you the money waiting to flood into gold is not in it already. The other indicator that blows my mind from years of doing this is for the first time, we've got more demand from the West, meaning money managers are moving into it, investors are moving into it, but over on the East and India and other countries that have historically been huge buyers of physical gold are not buying as much. Part of it's COVID. Part of it, they don't have the income to do it. Farming crops haven't come in like they have normally. So we've seen a lack of demand there. But when the other demand comes back from the East and coupled with the West, that's when we think gold makes its final big move. That's when it makes its final big move is on that. Now, we're not going to talk about silver today. This is a day for gold and for the people that like to be the world elite, the New World Order, all the names you can think of that you've heard. When they meet in Davos, Switzerland in January, you better hold on to your seatbelt. We're hearing out of our sources in Europe and the Far East and Indonesia that the refix is coming. The restart is coming. And there is nothing on the planet Earth, not silver, not platinum, not palladium, that's going to be during the inset except gold. It's the only investment that trades in all 28 world financial markets. And people realize is money. It is a tier one investment. Central banks can buy it and count it at market value rather than 50% of market value like the past. Everything is moving to gold, and it's going to get faster and faster and faster as we approach January. And then as the Davos meeting goes and the implementation starts, moving toward a currency backed by gold. Who will control it? Just the New World Order. I'm not going to try to say China, India, Russia. We're going to say the New World Order, the people that will be in charge of it, the people that will put it together. And as we end our fiscal year for 2020, tomorrow, September 30th, we're going to have over a $5 trillion budget deficit. The biggest we've ever had is $1.7 trillion. And all you'll say is, oh, but it's all COVID related. Of course, part of it is, but you still don't get it. We're moving toward a worthless currency if you don't have gold. And I don't care if you agree with me or disagree with me, I will be right. If you don't have gold as your money, you're going to be in serious trouble based on a fiat currency, because the powers that be, the New World Order, is what I'm calling them for this segment, will change it, and everything will be different. And people will not be buying U.S. debt. We've accumulated the biggest debt in the history of mankind. The United States of America, the greatest country God ever put on this earth. And we are turning our backs on God, and we will pay a price. But what you can do for your family is to get in there and get allocated in a position now before the prices run away on you. And they will, both gold and silver. But once again, this segment's about the U.S. dollar and gold and the coming new world currency that will be backed by gold, the restart, if you will, forgiving of debt maybe. All these things are going to come into play in 2021. So all I can tell you is keep your eyes open, stay focused, keep listening to us as we find information for you. And also for those that are interested in a self-directed precious metals IRA, that's the fastest growing part of our business, or especially people my age that are retiring, coming out of their 401ks and doing 2 self-directed IRAs, one for gold and other precious metals, and one for stocks, bonds, and cash. So they take whatever allocation, but you have 2 self-directed IRAs, one in physical metals, one in stocks, bonds, and cash. And if you could call the office and talk to Dan or I or Jade, you can call us at 800-247-2812. That's 800-247-2812, and we can help you get a custodian. We can be your broker and your agent, but we cannot be the custodian. But we'll give you a couple of names of good ones that we've dealt with for many years that you can set up that account with. So just be aware that things are changing, and things are changing fast. And all this COVID stuff, you can read from A to Z what people think about it. All I can tell you is you better have some protection in metals more than anything else out there. And lastly, comments I want to make is this debt grows right now at $27 trillion. And if you've never gone on usdebtclock.org, the US, just put usdebtclock.org and look, spend 30 minutes and see what shape our country's in. But the bigger question comes, who's going to keep buying our debt? Who's going to keep buying our debt when we're now over $26 trillion? And if you just averaged 2% on the debt, that's over $500 billion. How are we ever going to balance the budget? It ain't going to happen. What's happening now is just compounding. We were paying $250 billion a year in debt just 3 years ago. And now we're paying over $500 billion just on the interest of the debt. So are the Russians, are the Chinese, are the Japanese going to continue to be the biggest buyer of U.S. debt? I don't think so. When they're ready to crash the U.S. economy, they will start a stable liquidation of U.S. government treasuries. Short term, 6 month, 1 year, and then we're going to see the notes, 5 to 10 years, and then the bonds, 10 to 30 years. All of them are going to start getting liquidated, and you will see the dollar go like this. And just remember, that dollar goes back to 72 from 95 on the world index. That's like 25% times 6% for each 1% the dollar goes down. You know, you're talking about gold at 3,500 to 5,000. And yes, I do think it will get there. So hopefully we've made our point. The ones of you, including the money managers that call, want to know what gold does when the dollar is going down. People are getting ready for right after this election coming up. And the election will have a great impact based on if Biden goes in with his new high taxes, corporate taxes going back, state tax coming back, all that, what that will do to devastate the economy. But only the good Lord knows how this election is going to come out. But just pray for our leaders. We really are told in the Bible to pray for our leaders, and that's what we need to be doing at times like this. So with this bi-weekly precious metals market update, this is Tom Cloud signing out.